I appreciate your being here. Um, meanwhile, let me share my screen and then we can move on. Just a second. Okay, here we go. I guess you can see my screen, yeah?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Hi
Okay,
to everyone.
good. So, today we're gonna be talking about the gamification, mostly about the gamification, and in the end, just why hiring should be fun. Um, as I was presented, my name is Iako. I am co-founder and CEO of Helio.AI, and I'm going to be talking about Helio as well in a second part of the webinar. But just to give you brief information, this is the tech startup, automating hiring, helping AI and gamification. The topics, the breakdown, what we will be talking about is the first part, technological overview of hiring at all, why and how world started to play and what the hell is the game at all, and the gamification in the hiring processes. And just in the end, top 5 tips personally from me how to stand out as a company or like as a recruiter or I don't know. Uh, please, as you were instructed, please ask questions when you have it, because you can stop me. Let's keep this webinar as much as interactive and just enjoy this 30 or 40 minutes. Let's see how it's gonna go. And we can start. But until we're gonna start, I think I will be sharing about me a little more details, and then we can jump into the presentation. So probably you saw the like advertising of the webinar, and you saw information about me that I used to be tennis player. That started in my early childhood ages, and all of my life until the 17 years was the tennis. I was professional player. And by the way, I've been in Yerevan a few times. I remember the flavor of, I loved the lemon ice cream that was on the tennis courts in Yerevan. I remember the flavor of that still. I was number 1 in Georgia, number 2 in Europe, and like won more than 30 tournaments. But then the sad fact happened. I fall down on my back and I was injured. So I had to totally change my life. And then my corporate life started. I was learning. I was at the university and then started working at the tech company and like changed a lot of roles. And in the end, I ended up in the C-level management board and build a product with like 5 million daily turnover with 1 million customers and more than 1,000 partners. And when I was working on big company, I met with my co-founders of Helio, Nini, and we had the same issue. We've been forming the teams, and Nini had some acceleration program and she got like 3,000 resumes and didn't sleep for 2 weeks. And actually, this was the inspiration why we started to think about what to do for ourselves first. And we thought that maybe AI resume screening would work for this case. And then just realized that we could build something bigger and solve problem for not only for us but for other companies. So this is how we started our life in the startup, and actually it's exactly how it feels as you see on the GIF, because sometimes it feels like the deadly night and sometimes it feels like party. But so far things are going well. Like after 1 year, we have more than 300 brands, we have more than 6 countries and a lot of awards. So it was worth taking this decision. Okay, now let's go in deep with the certain topics what we have here. And for the first part about the technological overview of hiring, we're going to be talking about 3 topics. First is recruiting software, the role of AI, and the tools that might actually be helping you. Um, just my question would be for you here. Is any one of you, I totally can't see all of you. I will try to scroll, but is any one of you or whoever is using ATS or any recruiting software, can you raise your hands or just say or whatever? I saw some hands, head shakes. By the way, feel free about the language. Ladies will help us if translation is needed. I also understand Russian, so feel free to interact. Um, okay, let's talk about the recruiting softwares and just a little story about this. Um, when I was a child in Georgia, as I'm based in Georgia and I live in Georgia, we love in Georgia a lot of guests at the house. So I remember that, like, despite of the fact that loving the guests, the nightmare started after they leave the home and all the dishes you had to wash. And the whole family was involved in this. We had to like soap, we had to brush, we had to rinse, we had to dry, and that was the nightmare. And somehow for me, doing hiring and doing recruiting feels like the washing the dishes. And like I have this memory of my mommy who used to wash most, I would say. We helped only sometimes. For me, it sounds like this because we have to find candidates manually. We have to read resumes. We have to type emails or messages, or we have to dial up and we have to call and do the Excels, have folders, and do the all of the various things. And the worst part of this story is that, like, when you enter in the house and you see that everything is clean, it seems like it has to be like that. And actually, no one can understand what type of hard working you put to put the do the dishwashing. And it's same in the recruiting. When we hire someone, in the end, we just see the result, but we don't see how the whole team was struggling and how much effort we put in this. So then some years came and someone, good person, invented the dishwasher machine. By the way, I bought this for my mommy a few months ago. And someone invented the recruiting softwares, which actually can do all the hard lifting for you. And there are wide range of the softwares and what they do, it's different. But in the end, all of the recruiting software has some different bases. The first, and actually we call that applicant tracking systems, it's the ATS. They have the first advantage of all the candidates in your one database. You have everything in one software. Somehow you can search, you can type some words and find the candidates there. You have history for your applicants who used to apply into your different jobs. You can customize your applying process. You can communicate from ATS. You can have your career page and somehow integrate with the different job boards. And basically, this was the very started version of applicant tracking systems and how people started to digitalize the hiring itself. But then also after some years, we probably heard about the AI. And for me, AI reminds me in my very early childhood years when computers was new in like working process, and people thought that computers would replace the people. But so far, none of the computer would replace people because I believe that human beings are the uniques, and we are created for more like creative things to do. And also, AI for me looks like counting without any tools, calculating, doing math without any help. Uh, but then someone invented calculator, for example, to do some math things. And I remember transition period when I had exams in my school. There was some years when teachers say that no, you can't use calculator. But then some years came and they said that you have to use calculator because actually it's not that important how you do the calculation, but how wide you can think. So things are changing. And for me, it's exactly about the AI because someone also invented Excel after calculator and we started to calculate things even more easily. So AI seems to be your like magic wand, your magic hands, your extra hands, which can be used to multiply your resources, to save your time, and to be more creative, to do the things you actually enjoy more than you would just like typing the same things and do the manual things. And most probably the AI boom started from the ChatGPT release. Are you using ChatGPT in your daily basis or sometimes? Yeah. I
Absolutely.
think, yeah, yeah. I think all of started, oh, let's try what the hell is that? Then we saw that it might do some good job for us. And then time to time we see that like it's even hard to do some things without ChatGPT. I even find myself to draft some dumbest mails even with the ChatGPT, and I don't know why I do that, but like it's easier. So if we say that we are using ChatGPT for like hiring needs or for recruiting needs, we can ask GPT to do the job descriptions, to prepare interview questions, or give us information about some trends, or just chat. After the ChatGPT, then companies and persons and human beings just started to explore because we saw that we had some results. We could use the AI for good. And then we saw that there are some tools that actually might be helping us. And for example, like before 5 or 7 years, it was hard to imagine that something could do interview instead of us. And now, for example, Brain Trust is one of the tools, and there are a bunch of this type of tools, can do the interview, can do the first time interview. You can predefine questions there and just have the shortlist candidates in your like top of the funnel. Also, there is a tools which can do the messaging part with your applicants, which can do the first time interview with a message and assist them to answer the questions. For example, what is the terms, if they are still available, etc., etc. Textio is the tool which can assist you to give your employees feedbacks or give your candidates feedbacks. And this is also done by AI, which has a huge impact in your day-to-day basis. Lattice is my favorite actually. It understands your employees' typing style, the wording, and it can give you some verdict how they feel, if they are burnout or they feel good or they feel bad. And Helio, which I represent, and I will be talking a little bit later. Uh, in this case, Helio is all-in-one hiring solution, and it combines AI resume screening part, AI assistant, and gamification. Now we can, by the way, is there any questions so far about tools or something like that? No.
No
Okay.
questions.
Okay. Now let's go to the gamification part. And in the gamification, we're going to be talking about the three directions. The first is that why we play outside of the hiring. Another is that how new generation are changing and shaking all the rules of hiring process and how gamification works in recruiting process. Why we play? The biggest thing about the game is emotions. And personally, I believe that it's not only about the games, but for every decision we take, it's about the emotions. And when we play, it's like we let ourselves to explore, we let ourselves to compete, to be free, to feel like the winning desire or just curiosity. And the emotions also give us understanding how we can what can be our next step, what can be our experience with a certain company or someone who is interacting. And that's why another part why we play is the desire of connection, because usually when we play, it does not it doesn't matter if we play against someone or we play with a computer or whatever. It gives us connection between something. And the third part is curiosity. We just wonder what will happen. I believe when we are talking about the Helio and when we are talking about the gamification, after each webinar, after each training session, we get bunch of calls. Please let us play. I want to know and understand my personality, etc., etc. So the curiosity is in a very, very high mode when we are playing. Um, but in the market, as I said in terms of ATS and like dishwashing and dishwashing machines, the same is happening about the generations and about the trends, what they are changing in our day-to-day life. So the first fact how the new generation are changing the rules of hiring is that 76% of employers now prioritize skill-based hiring over formal education. And why this happens? This happens because Gen Z and the younger millennials, I would say, focus on practical abilities rather than their traditional degrees. It means that they if in our childhood it was that like you should have diplomas, you should have some degrees, BBA or MBA, etc. For new generations, it's not that important. They mostly try to upskill their soft skills, their abilities to like be more adaptable. And that's why then companies need to adapt to these changes. And this is the one and a very important thing. Another part is that 67% of recruiters use AI powered tools to screen candidates worldwide, like from America, from Europe, and now it's coming into our region as well. And why this happens? Because younger candidates expect faster and tech-driven hiring. And it's not only in the hiring, but in any case. For example, why TikTok is popular right now? Because TikTok is like full with the short videos, short stories. Everything happens in like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 30 seconds. And if it's longer, then candidates just don't really care to like be part of the process. So it means that all the companies should transform their hiring process. And it's just unbelievable to do without technological adoption. It's very hard to do with AI because then you need to like have the bench team full of HR professionals who are like reading and screening candidates. So this is very important part. Next fact. 83% of Gen Z job seekers prefer hybrid or fully remote work. And this happens because they prioritize mental health. And not only prioritize, but they actually need more peace. They need more rest. They need more flexibility. And if we offer them the environment where the interview is stressful or the process is stressful, they just quit. It's not about that they apply and they come to our company and they are not happy. They just quit. They just don't care. Also, very important fact is that 70% of young professionals would take a pay cut to work at a company with the strong values. And it was not that important like before 10 or 7 years, because new generation need to understand for what they are serving. They are like trying to find more meaningful work and have like more diverse workplace, etc., etc. And the last one, 85 of Gen Z candidates research potential employees on social media before applying. And it's not even only about the social media. And that's why only like to post job is not important and not enough to hire good persons. And we also like have to follow and have a good presence and good employer branding. So that's why we need to lot of changes to adapt and even be not only adapt but also be like one step forward for the changes that are coming. Um, Now let's go to the gamification and recruiting part. In my personal point of view, I believe that like perfect product has like different blend of the things. First is to do the right things on the right place, on the right time, and do the things in the right way. And that's the moment when we get the perfect product. And I will be back to this formula after a few slides. We all know Plato, and he once said that you can discover more about person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. And I think that makes sense. Also, Albert Einstein said that play is the highest form of research, and I think that also makes so much sense. And the very famous psychologist Donald Winnicott said it is in playing and only in playing that individual can or adult is able to be creative and to use the whole personality. So when we used to create the game for Helio and for hiring needs, uh, some of these phrases used to be some part of our inspiration. But gamification didn't start um, in like latest years. It started as early as in 2010. And the first one was Marriott Hotel, which probably you all know. And they created first game, but mostly for their training needs. And it worked somehow, more or less. Not good, not bad. Also, there was one experience with the L'Oreal, the cosmetic company. Also, probably all of you knows that, especially ladies. And they did the virtual recruiting, and it was some part of interview. But the problem was that it was not for the people who used to live and recruit in that period. And let's just talk about some trends. What's changed after 2010 years, and now we are in a 2025, yeah? Nowadays, for today, 85% of Gen Z play games. 65% spends more than 3 hours a day playing games. 64% plays with a mobile phone, which was the problem like 10 years ago. 63% of Gen Z finds the game as a like part of connection, as a social experience. And half of Gen Z spend at least $20 to play. Just imagine they spend money to play. So it's some kind of possibility that you can offer these things for them for free. And 76% of Gen Z like non-game brands more who offer to play. And that's why I said that I would be back to the formula that like every part of the generation, technological adoption and everything just now is ready to explore the gaming part. And that's why we say that right things is the gamification plus hiring plus Gen Z plus hiring softs in the end equals to Helio, and in the end equals to the trends that we are following. Now let me take you into the small tour how Helio works. I'm going to be sharing again. Okay, I guess you all can see my screen, yeah? So first of all, how the software looks. It doesn't need any integration. It just like you get account credentials on your mail and you start working. You don't need development. You don't need IT. You need no one just to decide and start the work. And you have dashboard. And the Helio itself and recruiting softwares manage three directions: the job management, candidate management, and reporting part. On the dashboard, like we see the general KPIs, we see how many hours was saved by AI, etc., and a lot of information here. In the jobs, we have all the historical data with jobs we ever created. We can see the statuses from here. We can add the new job from here, or we can edit the existing one, and we can ask AI to generate descriptions, and we can ask AI to tell what requirements we need for the certain job to stand out, to analyze better the candidates. We can also customize the apply page, which is very important for the applicants to make it simple. And we can put additional questions or take out all the extra fields we don't need. We can post jobs into different job platforms or into social media, boost them, post them, go to the advertising and just sharing into different universities, etc., etc. And the best part that comes after this is my favorite, that as soon as we go into the job, we see all the applicants directly in the system and AI starts working. It means that it can analyze any type of CV on any language that we are using, get the AI matching, which means that with how many percent is this person suitable, send communication from here, adjust AI to our needs, like say that we like this screening or we did not like, send game to the applicants, which is not mandatory because you might be hiring persons where you don't want to use game, but you have opportunity to skip or not to skip. And as soon as they get the link on the mail, they play for like 7-10 minutes, and the game is not about winning or losing. It's just like different situations and how they act. And as soon as they get they finish the play, we get their results like this. You see on the left part, helping gamification, we could analyze their personality type. And on the right part, you can see all the soft skills that we have. So we already can shortlist our candidates, and AI can shortlist based on experience and based on personality. Um, just quick look to the candidate and talent pool. Here you have everyone who ever applied in your database, and you can just prompt, find someone who has 3+ years experience in sales, and you directly can use your old database to like start hiring until you pay a lot of money to acquire new applicants. Also, you can build your custom career page from here, which is very, very my favorite option. And you can directly launch the landing page without, no, it's a no-code tool, just upload the things, generate keywords for your jobs, and in the end, do reporting and understand where you are with just one glance. So this is basically what Helio is doing. And what will be launched in March is that you will have here your AI assistant, which will do anything for you, generate anything for you. So you will just be hiring in few clicks. Now let's get back to the presentation. We have one more section left, and then we can stick to the questions. Like this. Okay, so in the end, just to summarize what Helio is doing, we cut 60% of manual tasks that our recruiters used to spend before using the software. they get 20% more applicants because of the good experience with the apply page. They reduce the candidates who quit from the hiring process, and they do hiring almost 3 times faster. And in the end, 5 tips personally from me that could help you to stand out as a recruiter, as an HR, as a company, or whatever. The first one is that use AI. And the most important is that it won't replace you, but someone who is using that, it might be. Because with AI, we can be faster and we can be more organized. Build the connections, make communication as much as personalized as you can, because it's despite of the AI era, it means that being human is even more appreciated. So let's be more personalized. Do care about employer branding. Simplify every step that you make, every experience you create for your candidates. If it's apply page or if it's interview, if it's like different things, just simplify and somehow make it fun because it really works. Thank you so much. That was my presentation. Please feel free for questions, and also for all the attendees to the webinar. We want to somehow say thank you for all of that. So we will be offering for you 2 months of free trial Helio. So you will be able to use it for free for 2 months and without any commitment. You can cancel anytime or continue using. Here is my mobile, my mail. So I would be more than happy to assist you with my team. And also, if anyone wants to play, please just ping me and you will get the play link, and then you will get your personality result. Thank you so much. So if there is any questions, please feel free.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Iako. It was very interesting, and I can say a very timely topic for us. I think it would be very useful for our participants. And now I would like to ask all of us, do we have any questions to discuss? I suggest to be very interactive now.
Thank you so much, Iako. If it's possible, I would ask you about the game based on what created the games, and do you think that games represent the persons as much as they are in real life?
Thank you so much for the questions. For the first part on what is game-based, when we started to work on the gaming part, there was one idea to create some new assessment type, and another idea was to use assessments that is used worldwide, is approved, and the world knows that it works, and transform into game tasks. So we approached to DISC methodology that was on the left part I saw you, and the Big Five. So actual results come based on those two tests. But when candidate plays, it is not assessment. It does not feel like that you are like doing tests, because new generation doesn't really like working with the papers or even scrolling like 60 pages of the presentations. This is one part. Now let's go to another question about how it can resonate if we're the same in the game or not. The main trick there is that when we play, we forget to be not natural. Usually this is how it happens. Of course, if me as a candidate, I decided to not be real, of course, I go and like push some dumb things and random things, and actually I can do the same on the paper assessment. But in the end, the main part is that I'm playing like, what the hell is going next? Who's gonna meet me in the jungle? What is this food I want to taste or not? So I'm more free. I'm not under the stress. It's not about winning, etc., etc.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Iako. I have another question. As I understood, questions and tasks games are case-based. And what if the candidates use AI-generated responses to seem like more smart candidates? Can we check this or not?
The best part is, let me go to the game slide. The best part here is that it does not have right or wrong answers. Oh, I've lost. Yeah. If I ask AI to generate answers, it could not, because you are not writing down the answers, you are acting. For example, just imagine the game scenario is like this. With the friends, you are going with the boat, and then something happens to the boat, and you wake up in the jungle, and you meet with the different people. If you help, for example, setting the fire, if you taste different new foods, or if you interact with the people, based on each action that you make step by step, we get your personal profile, company gets the personal profile. And that's the main idea, because it doesn't make sense to like choose one or another answers.
Okay, I get it. And one more question, and then you others can ask their questions as well. As I know, gamification is widely used in tech companies, but how can it be adapted for more traditional or conservative industries? Do you have any success stories or data in this point?
Yeah. The main reason why gamification mostly was used in the tech companies was that actually gamification was the tool for assessing the technical skills. For example, how good I can code, how good I can, I don't know, screen the or do the review of the code. But in this case, the main part is that it's just assessing your personality and soft skills. So in this scenario, it does not matter if we are doing it for tech, for retail, for frontline workers, etc., etc. And that's why probably our customer range is very, very wide. For example, we have companies such as like BMW, Ford from the automotive industry. We have customers like Wendy's, who is in the not Horeca, but like in a fast food industry. We have banks, we have financial institutions, and that's the reason that it's unique for all of the ages, for all of the cultures, and for all of the professions.
Great, thank you for answering. Dears, do we have any other questions that we can discuss with Iako? This is a great opportunity to share experiences together.
I saw Anna's hand. Anna
I do, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I can go
Yeah.
ahead. Hello.
Okay.
So first of
Hi.
all, I'd like to thank you for the very insightful webinar. I really loved it. Have my notes here. It was very interesting to follow. So if you don't mind, I'm going to change a little bit. I'm going to move from gamification a little bit and come to AI.
Okay.
So as we all know, HRs and recruiters have this responsibility to ensure that we find the best candidate for our team, for our position. And in this way of identifying the right talent, it is also very essential to make sure that we minimize the risk of losing the ideal candidate. However, I'm the person that uses AI on a daily basis, so I'm not just a conservative. But we all know that AI also makes a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes. So I was wondering if you have any strategies that we can implement effectively to minimize the risk associated with using AI in our hiring process and everything, ensuring we still make informed and accurate hiring decision.
Thank you so much, Anna, for this is a great question because that's actually the case that frequently happens when we start using AI. I will give you just like short story. When we started Helio and started implementing the AI, we started to use the general models, like we started to use the GPT models. And the problem of most of the AIs are that it's not domain specific. It means that GPT can know everything, but cannot know every single detail in the single profession. For example, it's not that competitive in recruiting. And our CTO is a very strong AI engineer. She's 27 and teaching at Stanford, by the way. And she decided to build our own AI model, which means that it's specifically created for recruiting needs. And it's always, and in every case, better than just general models. And that's actually how we train them on the specific good data. And I don't know if you remember when I showed you in Helio buttons to rate AI, this is the something that how we improve AI day-to-day basis. You have possibility to indicate if you liked this screening or you didn't like, or it was like somewhere in the middle. And then based on this feedback, system trains itself automatically and starts to think like it's specifically you. In your company, also someone can use the same Helio, but it will be a little bit different. And this is done because we as a human beings have very strong sense of like some specifics, some strong sense of the candidate's good feeling, which AI in some cases could not have. And this is how we train them to be like best assistant for us. So I think it's about interaction, what feedback we give to the system, and then how system is responding. So in our case, this is one of the this is the biggest advantage why we stand out, for example, why we have so many customers and why this AI is used in that case.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Iako. And do we have other questions? Feel free to ask questions if you have in chat or live in Armenian or in English.
Greetings, everyone.
Just to know, Yakojan, who you are supporting now in tennis, in women's tennis.
You know, I think the sad fact is that I try not to watch too much tennis because then it's nostalgic. I don't know. I don't have favorite in women's tennis. Maybe it's because like I feel them they are competitors, despite of the fact that I'm not playing anymore. But in men's, I loved Roger.
Oh,
He was my favorite.
okay. I was not Djokovic fan. So
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please add me on the LinkedIn. Let's connect and ask any questions and use the opportunity if you like to use the Helio. We are here to assist.